Late one night, the young woman was walking home alone. A stranger suddenly rushed out and sprayed an unknown liquid on her. When she regained consciousness, everything around her was pitch black. She had been left permanently blind. The doctor explained that the corrosive chemical had caused irreversible damage to her eyes. She would never regain her sight. The police launched a full investigation but failed to uncover a single useful lead. The case soon reached a dead end. Her younger brother, who lived overseas, couldn't stop worrying about her, so he hired a private caregiver to look after her. Soon Ellen was moved into a fully furnished apartment. It was stocked with everything she needed for daily life. Day after day, the caregiver took care of her daily routine. He patiently taught her Braille and how to use voice dictation software, doing everything he could to help her adjust to life without sight. One day, the caregiver brought her a little bird to keep her company. Ellen quietly asked what color the bird was. He casually replied that it was light blue. That simple answer hinted that everything around her was fabricated. Everything Ellen knew about her surroundings came only from his descriptions. As time passed, Ellen began noticing strange things. There were two windows located close to each other. One had strong wind and constant street noise. The other was as silent as if it were a solid wall. Even though the apartment was supposedly in a busy neighborhood, the television never received any signal. And every day at exactly 11 o'clock, a warning siren would sound by the window, always at the exact same second, like a perfectly programmed alarm clock. Then one night, she heard a woman quietly sobbing through the air vent. The vent connected to the apartment next door. Ellen immediately believed the woman next door was suffering domestic abuse. She gathered her courage and invited the neighbor over for tea. The following night, the woman came as promised, but she sounded completely relaxed. There was no sign that she had been abused. That changed when Ellen felt a scar on her face. The woman instantly tensed up and grabbed Ellen's hand tightly. She whispered that Ellen must never trust anyone. Then she hurried away. Alarmed, Ellen immediately called the police. After checking next door, the officers reported that everything was normal. There were no signs of abuse, and no scar on the woman's face. The next day, still uneasy, Ellen decided to visit the neighbor again. But it was the woman's husband who answered the door. Even without her sight, she could feel the overwhelming hostility coming from him. He harshly warned Ellen to stay out of other people's business. Then he slammed the door shut. Terrified, Ellen quickly called her caregiver. She told him about the man's threats. Instead, he confessed his feelings while she was emotionally vulnerable. Unable to resist, he leaned in and kissed her. Ellen instinctively pushed him away. Heartbroken, the caregiver quietly left. Not long afterward, strange noises came from the living room. Thinking the caregiver had returned, Ellen walked over without any caution. Instead, the intruder suddenly grabbed her by the throat. The pain was unbearable, and Ellen collapsed unconscious. When she woke up again, the caregiver was beside her bed and hugged her tightly. A powerful feeling rose inside her. She was convinced the attacker was the same person who had blinded her. She immediately called the police. The police reviewed every surveillance camera around the apartment, but found no trace of the intruder she described. Overwhelming fear, and the fact that no one believed her, pushed Ellen into deep self-doubt. Finally, one day, she stepped onto the balcony. But when she woke up again, she realized she was still alive. Not even a single injury was on her body. She cautiously reached out to feel her surroundings. She discovered she was trapped inside a tiny enclosed space. The familiar hourly alarm and city noises played right on schedule. Only then did she finally understand. The sounds of the busy streets had all been recordings played on a loop, which explained why the exact same noises happened at the same time every day. Ellen climbed over the sound equipment and made her way back into the apartment. The fake windows and fabricated surroundings were exposed one after another. She could no longer tell what was real. Escaping became the only thing on her mind. She carefully felt her way into the hallway, searching for the elevator, but pressing the button did nothing. She tried prying the elevator doors open with her hands, but nothing happened. The elevator was fake too. Just then, the woman next door returned. Hearing her pretend to search for her keys, Ellen stopped her immediately. She knew that door had to be fake as well. So Ellen found an excuse to bring the woman into her apartment. She turned on the faucet, then deliberately dropped a cup onto the floor. As the woman bent down to pick it up, Ellen held her in place, hoping to block any hidden cameras or listening devices. She told the woman she had uncovered the secret of the balcony, then demanded to know who had imprisoned her there. Just then, someone knocked on the door. It was the woman's husband. He took her away, but the moment they left, the caregiver arrived with Ellen's dinner. Ellen immediately exposed all of his lies, but he calmly explained that this place was actually a rehabilitation center. Everything had been designed to help her adapt to the real world.
Stop lying to me!
You suffer from PTSD and you're newly blind. Is that a lie?
After hearing his explanation, Ellen appeared to calm down. but she still wasn't sure whether to believe him. Then, as she prepared to eat, she heard a familiar tapping sound on the table. That particular sound, she had heard it before from the sheriff, the nurse, and the officer who visited next door. She suddenly remembered what the neighbor had told her.
Don't trust anyone.
A terrifying possibility suddenly crossed her mind. Could all of these people with different identities have been the very same person in disguise all along? Trapped in a world where reality and illusion were impossible to tell apart, Ellen had no one to rely on, and the life or death confrontation was only just beginning.